No one on the internet has ever made a video about this. It's how to be a bullshitter and how to bullshit. Step number 1, you need to understand relevant key terms. So for example, let's say I'm going to bullshit my way through e-commerce, bullshit my way through eBay, telling you I know everything about it, I've sold products. I'm going to use different keywords. I'm going to use product, I'm going to use sell-through rate, I'm going to use stock, I'm going to use cost-profit analysis, and I'm going to bullshit my way through my understanding of me being a buyer on the platform. I've, for example, bought from a Walmart shop in my country. It's called Macro but Walmart. So I understand the basic process of going online, going onto a website, buying the product and having fulfillment. Boom! So I understand from this side. But now we need to take from the seller. Here's the bullshit, 3, 2, 1. Yes, of course I'm an e-commerce seller. I actually sell a lot on eBay. Oh, you sell on eBay? Yes, what I do is I have a very high sell-through rate. So about between 50 and 60%. Oh, how many products have you got? I've got 200 line items. You know, in the point of sale system, you can see how many products, and they usually say yes. Well, in that point of sale system, I've got a 50% sell-through rate for 150 line items. See, that's a lot of money. They say, what's your gross profit percentage? My gross profit percentage is about 25%. I make a lot of money from this story. Wait a second, I don't see you wearing designer clothes. Where does all the money go? Well, basically what I do is I reinvest all the profits into the business because I run an eBay site. Remember, it's very expensive for web hosting and fulfillment of the product because they are doing a lot of the work. And then by that time, they usually go, oh, that's interesting. And then I say, hey, what do you do? Bullshit! Woo! Step number 2, you need to speak quickly because the more things that you say, the less they have time to process the little bullshits that you've done. So, let's say I'm giving you another example. I'm going to bullshit my way through me being an auto mechanic. Now, from the side of me, what do I know about cars? I know that it's complicated. I know that you have a chassis, that you have a hood, that you have internal materials, that you have a whole mechanism with a steering wheel. I understand kind of the basics of how you drive a car because I've driven a motorbike. So I know how you can change gears, and I know how you have a clutch and a sprocket. But beyond that, I know nothing about fixing a bike. I had a dirt bike, and I was going up the hill. Next thing, I started going into the park. This isn't bullshit, this is true. And I was riding around the park doing donuts. Doing donuts. Next thing, the sprocket broke. Now, here's the bullshit if I want to be an auto mechanic. Hello, sir, are you an auto mechanic? Yes, of course I'm an auto mechanic. I can fix any car, any jet ski, any motorbike, whatever it is, I can fix it. So how much are you going to charge me? Look, it takes a lot of time for me to do the work. I have to clean the sprocket, get rid of the oil, and make sure that the fulfillment's on point. Okay, so can you do this in 2 hours? Of course I can fix your car in 2 hours. What I need to do is open the hood, take a look at the chassis, and then with the steering wheel, there's a very complicated mechanism because you have a rear axle long shaft. It's made out of titanium with bolts and screws. So those bolts and screws need to be adjusted. And with the very incredibly expensive and intricate system, particularly with the titanium that's involved with the ironclad system that has stainless steel, I have to undo and unscrew every single one of those bolts. They're 25 bolts. And then I have to use Loctite on all of them so that they don't become removed while you drive your car. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So can you do it like in 2 hours? Look, it's more likely going to be 8 hours. In fact, just keep it here for 2 weeks because I need to make sure that I check the chassis, that I attach all those bolts and screws, that I double check the ironclad glazing system, and then I use the rear axle and make sure that it's aligned for you. And so if I do it within 2 hours, it's going to be a rush job. All I'm going to be able to do with that time is take the grease off the sprocket. See? Oh, okay, so 2 weeks time? You know what, I'm really going to push. I'll clean the sprocket, I'm going to adjust the axle, I need to realign the wheels, and I need to make sure that the rubber tire glazing system has the foam inbuilt on it properly. So that's going to allow you to drive smoothly, that doesn't have a lot of time when you're spending on you driving on the car, that it won't really be too loud. Because the most important thing with the car, yes, you want it to work, yes, you want your axles to be nicely aligned, you want to use your steering wheel with the rubber and leather ironclad. Sorry about using that word too much. It's a bit of an overused, system. But the thing is that when you look at the rear axle, when you look at the wheels, when you look at the chassis, when you look at the carbon fiber inserts, when you look at any of the points in the car, you have to look at the iron glazed system. Think about a donut? Think about a donut from Krispy Kreme. Okay, you always have that little donut center which is really filled with goodiness and deliciousness, but you always have the glazing on top. The glazing on top is what takes to the next level. Glazing, the iron glazing system, is a technology that is revolutionary. For example, let's say that you had a wheel and the wheel wasn't working because you just got stuck in a car accident. I hope that never happens to you. God forbid that you're ever in a car accident. What happens is because you have that glazing on your tires, on your sprocket, on your rear axle chain, on your drivetrain, on your engine mountings, because you have the glazing system, in an accident, God forbid it, you'll be safe and your car won't make a lot of noise because you have the glazing system. That's kind of like, as I said, the icing on the donut. It makes it more delicious. The glazing keeps you safe. For example, let's take the airbag design. They call it AWS airbag systems. Now, these were systems which were taken from the Boeing 747s and sent into your cars. Now, in the beginning, it was from NASCAR drivers, from Formula One racers, and from individuals who would just take their cars, take off all the windows, take off all the doors, and then soup them up, tune the engines, remove the carcass of the body, remove the glazing system. Yes, believe it or not, they would remove the glazing system to make it fast. And that's how they put in the airbag system, because so many of those people put themselves in a dangerous situation, and some had their cars catch a light. Now, this same modus operandi doesn't just apply to cars or perhaps airplanes. It also applies to jet skis and any other automotive equipment. Done. Bullshit finished. I've spoken so quickly and bombarded you with so many facts that you would never be able to verify them. Because the second I mentioned double glazing, and you said, wait a second, and I can see your facial expression that you don't know what it is, and you're trying to work it out. And then I tell you, glazing system is like a donut, and it's the same as the Boeing 747. What? And then I see, it's so interesting. Bullshit baffles brains. But here's the third thing. I need to be very careful when you bullshit someone, because you've got to know who you're bullshitting. For example, let's say there's someone in the home care industry. In America, nursing homes are very big. So I can say, bullshit 3, 2, 1. Hey ma'am, how are you doing? Look, I actually work a lot with home care agencies, particularly with Medicaid and MLTC. You know, that's medium long-term care. We help customers with nursing homes, you know, just to keep a record and a case of all the clients, push them through the CRM, and ensure that they are getting adequate healthcare. That's something that we do. And I work particularly with customers who are dealing with trust funds and people dealing with medical insurance things. Filing insurance, customer nursing homes, Medicaid, MLTC. All I'm doing here is that I just want to illustrate how I can help you, particularly in your medical industry. Because, you know, filing for insurance, going with government programs like PCD and AWS systems are very, very tricky to get a hold of. Now, maybe you've never heard of a PWC or an AWS system. But what it is basically the government program finding home care cases and then referring it to your agency. And you want to be part of that. But here's the thing, bullshit over. If I'm speaking to someone who literally is a doctor, or someone who literally owns an insurance firm, or someone who literally owns a home care agency, or a home care or nursing home, there's no way that I'm going to be able to bullshit them. Because they know what the frick AWS system is. And AWS system means any ways stupid is not them. Because they aren't stupid and they know exactly what you're trying to do, which is bullshit them. That's how you bullshit people. You got to speak fast. You got to use search terms, relevant keywords, but be careful who you bullshit, because one day you're going to bullshit the wrong motherfucking person, and what are they going to do? Listen here, man, I'll fix you. Next thing on the floor. But I wanted to bullshit you. Stop trying to bullshit me. Stop trying to bullshit me. Stop. Son. What is AWS system? Iron glazing system? What are you talking about? I won't bullshit you anymore. I really won't bullshit you. Okay. Please. I won't bullshit you. Why do you bullshit me?